up on the platform. On my immediate left, we have our Qari, Brother Abdurrahman Sadin. Next to him, also a Qari, Abdul Rashid Brown. And then we have a brother from America who's got a beautiful name. His name is Anwar. Anwar Ishaq. Next to him, no introduction necessary, Mr. Salih Muhammad of the Rosmead Supermarket. And then we have Brother Ahmad Deedat, our eminent scholar of the Bible and the Quran. He'll be one of our speakers this evening. And next to him on the far side, we have Mr. Paul Findlay, the author of the book that was available in the foyer. Mr. Paul Findlay was a congressman in the United States of America for about 22 years. But you can see he's quite a handsome guy. And his wife wouldn't allow him to come to South Africa alone. We welcome you also, Mrs. Findlay, seated right in front. May you enjoy the hospitality of Cape Town. Thank you. Our program for this evening will be the following. We have two speakers. The first one will be Mr. Paul Findlay, and thereafter Mr. Ahmad Deedat. And both of them will address the topic in their own way. Is Israel set up for destruction? At the end of Mr. Deedat's talk, we welcome questions from anybody with one provision, that the question must pertain to the topic under discussion tonight. It might seem to you that I have a pleasant seat right up front, but I do believe that the success of this evening, to a very large degree, depends on you and on me. I request you to come up to the front and put questions. Please, this is not a debate, and you cannot come up and either debate or give another lecture. I will then be compelled to rule you out of order, and with respect to you, I would like to say it matters not who you are. If we can't control the thing from the front, then there's no sense in having the proceedings of this evening. So if I stop you, it is the way I see it, in the interest of this evening. I now have great pleasure in calling upon our first speaker for the evening, Mr. Paul Findlay.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. I began this evening hoping to shake hands and meet personally every one of you, but I didn't get very far. What a wonderful audience here tonight. Now, would those who can hear my words raise your hand so I can see them? Would you raise your hands if you can hear me? I can be heard, I guess, up in the upper balcony too. Is that true? Raise your hand if you can hear me up there. Good. That's reassuring. And while you have your hands up, I'll shake hands with each of you. Thank you very much. Mrs. Findlay and I have had a glorious time in South Africa. We've encountered something a little bit unusual, though. Several people have said that we talk funny. Now here we thought it was South Africans who talk funny. Now, if my talk is so funny that you can't understand it, Dr. Deedat has promised that he will give you an English language translation of my remarks when I finish. Now, you met Mrs. Findlay just a moment ago. She's a very important person, very important to me personally, but also important to you tonight. She's my timekeeper. She makes sure that I don't talk too long. If I begin to talk too long, she raises her left arm up to listen to the watch to make sure it's still running. And then if that doesn't work, she stands up and walks out of the room. So you can see she fills a very important function tonight as my timekeeper. Lucille, would you stand up and say hello to the gathering? Thank you. Now I also want to thank the Cape Town Argus and the Cape Times. I've been reading about myself in both the Argus and the Times. Maybe some of you saw the same advertising that I saw. They described me in the advertising as Arafat's, whoops, things are changing here. This is an unrehearsed part of the program. Now, is that better? Can you hear me better now? How about up in the balcony? Now, does that come through better? It sounds to me much better. But I promise you I won't start over. I want to thank the Cape Town Argus and the Cape Times for advertising my presence here in Cape Town. Otherwise, the public would never have known that Mrs. Findlay and I are here. Now, in the advertising, they described me and quoted me as saying that I'm Yasser Arafat's only friend in the U.S. Congress. Well, I want you to know that I regard Chairman Yasser Arafat, who is now President Yasser Arafat of the New Palestine, as one of the great political figures of this generation. And I am very proud to be known as his friend. And I thank the Times and the Argus for advertising that fact. They also say that I am a former paid employee of the Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee. That's an organization based in Washington, D.C. Well, for a time I was paid by this organization, and I want you to know that any time I have the opportunity to work for an organization that works against racial discrimination, I will take great pride in having that job. And then in big letters, they say ex-Congressman Paul Findlay defeated in 1982. Well, I was not returned to Congress, but by my measure, I was not defeated, I was victorious, because I am now given this great audience in South Africa that never would have been mine had I been returned to the Congress. So I thank the newspapers for this publicity. Now, there is some talk about this being a boxing match between myself and Ahmed Deedat. And I checked around the stores to see if I could find the right boxing gloves to wear tonight. I couldn't find any small enough for me or any large enough for Ahmed Deedat. So we aren't going to box with each other. We're going to talk about the same subject.